All right, Silverback Chronicles podcast. It's your boy Big H. I got my brother Drizzy.
What's up? Hello, God.
What's good, bro?
Chilling, brother. Just another week. We're getting through it.
That's it. Folks, we love you. We appreciate you. Listen, our happy hour was simply amazing the other week. Thanks to everybody. Appreciate y'all coming out and enjoying it. Listen, we do it every year. This was our fourth year annual Officers Happy Hour. Officers Happy Hour. Sorry, first responders, everybody. It wasn't just for officers, but it's for everybody. Fire department, strictly grown people want to come out and have a good time. Free drinks, free food on us. Shout out to Charlie and the law firm. We love you guys. Thank you for all you do and all you continue to do. Where are we back? Another episode. We're not going to hold you. We got a phenomenal guest tonight. He's a fellow brother in blue. He's repping blue from Wisconsin. This guy's doing phenomenal things in the world of policing, technology-wise, and he's just amazing at what he does. No further ado, let's get it started with our boy Wesley Erkemer. What's up, bro?
Hey guys, how's it going? Happy to be here.
Thanks for coming on, brother.
Hey, Wesley, what's up, man?
Not much. I'm just got done with work, came home, had to pretty myself up before I got on the podcast. And
I see you, brother. I see the hair. You got the collar up. Don't hurt him too much, champ.
Yeah, he's killing them over there in Wisconsin.
Wow. So tell us, man, where you from? Born and raised, Wesley? You from Wisconsin?
Oh yeah, born and raised in Wisconsin. A little further up north is when I spent most of my life, and after I graduated from college, criminal justice, I came down to Madison where I started working as a cop, and I've been doing the policing thing for about 8 years.
How is Madison? Like, tell us a little bit about the city of Madison as far as like rate of crime and just the makeup of the city.
So it's a beautiful city. It's the capital of Wisconsin. Attracts people from all over. I mean, with all the stuff that goes on in the city, we've got concerts, we've got huge farmers markets and stuff like that. And so it's got a wide range of people. And I think that's kind of what makes it so fun to work in, is you meet different people from all over the world. We're also nestled in between a few larger cities, so we get a lot of traffic coming through. We got Milwaukee, about an hour away. Chicago's down south. And then we're right in the line between Minneapolis and Chicago on I-94 there. So we got a lot of people passing through.
So listen, why policing for you? What was the determining factor in doing that as a profession?
Yeah, growing up, I never really thought of it as something that I wanted to do. In college, it was, I was a hippie kid. I had hair down here. I was skateboarding everywhere, and just your typical like liberal college kid.
Mm-hmm.
And it was also at the same time that the Ferguson protests were going on, and as that got more traction, I got more interested in what I was seeing on the news. I was like, how is this happening in America? Like, how can this happen? And so I started to learn more about policing in the way that, the policies and procedures and the truth of what happens in all these police contacts. I paid attention to, I went to meetings where professors were trying to explain what was going on and give some context to, what happened in the past, what's happening now.
I have a question. You just mentioned, so the question is, how different was it from what the professors were telling you of what was going on to like you actually putting on the uniform and seeing and being in the middle of what was going on? Was it a huge difference?
Different worlds.
Can you explain the?
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone kind of has an idea of what the sentiment was at that time. And it wasn't nearly as much as it was in 2020, but it was kind of the seed that started the whole process. And you had, the media talking about it every day. You had, this kind of nationwide awakening as to what the issues with policing were. And I think, as many people know, with college professors, they usually have more of a left-leaning political view. And when it came to that situation, it showed. It was pretty far left-leaning in terms of what they were talking about. But I think it also came from, that's their worldview. That's what they've been seeing. And kind of they wanted to pass that along to people, which I have no problem with. I also spent a lot of time reading up on the police cases like this, just to see if everything that I was hearing on the news and that I was hearing from my professors was true. And a lot of the times I'd start to find inconsistencies. I talked to other cops and try to see what is the perspective from your side. And kind of the more I delved into that world, the more I started to realize, like, I think I could do this job, and I think I could make a difference.
So I mean, from their perspective, was it positive? Did it make sense? Did it make sense then, and does it make sense when you got on the job?
Yeah, did it help you police better?
Starting from that perspective, because right when, at that point, like I said, hippie white kid up in Wisconsin, just, I kind of just took everything at their word, and I was like, yeah, this is the way things are, and they need to change. And I think the hardest part for me was actually leaning into what I was hearing from actual police officers and what I was hearing, in my research, and trying to kind of snap my mind out of, everything that I hear on the news is kind of the exact opposite of what I'm hearing from people on the street. And a lot of what they're saying makes a ton of sense. And so the more I kind of researched the steps that officers take and the things that they have to do before they reach thresholds of deadly force, I kind of started to form my own opinions on, like, a lot of what they're saying really isn't the truth of what's happening out there, just based on what I've learned and kind of common sense. If I were to put myself in any officer's shoes and try to handle situations like this where, I'm right at the edge of deadly force and I'm probably freaking out and I have a split second to make a decision, it's the human thing to do, to think about, what else can go wrong. And I started to realize that a lot of what I was hearing were what are basically Monday morning quarterbacks saying, well, I should have done this, I should have done that. And so as I learned, I started to kind of seat myself in the idea of, if when I saw something on the news, I'd say, okay, this is kind of what they're blowing it up to be as a news story. And then I'd contextualize it with what I knew that police do every day. And, the more I did that, the more I started to think, like, I think that I can actually help a lot of people in this job. The cops that I talk to, they're nothing like what you hear on the news. They're regular, normal people, and they just want to help people. And that pulled me in right away.
I think it's also a great thing because you went to college. We all went to college. So when it comes to the perspective of teachers giving their input, I think it's only right that they should implement a course in reference to criminal justice of real life officers that are on the job that can give a real life perspective. Because a lot of teachers, they go off what they've read. They don't go off of what they've been through or what they've actually put feet to the concrete and actually. It's really unfair. It's unfair to us that serve. You know what I mean? Because it's pretty much you're getting these young kids in college, and mentally you're telling them something that's not even true. And unfortunately, when they get to the real world and when they get out there, even some people that go in law enforcement, it doesn't shape them or mold them to know right from wrong. It's like they're jaded from the beginning. And it causes many rebels without the causes that are out there. On top of dealing with inner city kids and inner city crime, you know what I mean? It's not fair. So I think that should be implemented. It's a great thing too, and it's all about constructive criticism and separating truth from narrative. And I think that should be implemented. It's a good discussion overall, anyway.
I think, but you know, constructive criticism can only happen if you know what you're talking about. And we always say that the streets always knows what's going on. And if you never wore a gun belt and been out there in patrol, then you don't know what you're talking about. Straight up. Because like you said, once you hit the streets, things are different. But to add to what you're saying, H, I think professors, and you know, I love that profession for them. It's needed, but they should keep their personal opinions to themselves, because what happens is, you know, like us three right now, you know, we chose the badge. If we would have listened to them instead of like our heart or that call for duty, law enforcement would have missed out on 3 phenomenal officers, 3 phenomenal detectives. So imagine how many people they're turning away from the badge that could actually be, you know, the next commissioner or the next, you know, officer that makes a huge difference. But because they added their personal opinion, a lot of people, like you said, get jaded and walk away from the profession.
Even more so now.
Oh, even more so now. Wesley, quick question. So, are you still on the job?
Yeah.
So, like, what? Can you talk about what unit you're in, or what was your favorite part of? Like, you know, we always talk about patrol. Are you?
In what capacity are you serving?
I'm still repping patrol. I'm out there humping calls every day.
Hell yeah, that's awesome.
It's the funnest part of the job. I mean,
it is.
You get to deal with just the wildest range of stuff. And I always find it funny how, like, you know, I think back to even going back to our conversation about college professors. They spent their lives in a very academic setting. And, you know, you can do that all your life and you can learn a ton. And I mean, you can be extremely intelligent, but there's something that you just you can't learn about this job unless you're out there chasing people and driving fast cars and just getting spit on and fought with. I mean, there's just like the wildest humanity that you can ever experience is this job. So it's like the wildest learning curve, but it's fantastic.
How did patrol shape you as an officer? How did you build your officer skill set? How was it for the first couple of calls handling it by yourself? Was it eye-opening? What did it do for you?
Real quick.
Nice.
Oh, it's you know, it's one of those things where it's like brand new. You have no idea what this person in front of you is going to do. For me, it was like every second on every call, when are they going to run from me? You know, so it's like I'm like this jackrabbit getting ready for a race. And every call I'd go to, whether it was, you know, someone looking into car doors or domestic or something, my left leg would always start twitching really fast because it's just like, okay, someone's going to run from me. Where do I go? And as I went on, I kind of started to be able to gauge that a little bit better. But over the years, it's become second nature, you know. And you get to a point where you show up at these calls where you've been to this house 100 times. You've been in the same neighborhood for years. These people know who you are. You know, Jerry never runs. He's not a good runner. He's got a bum knee. He'll stick around. I'm going to talk to him, figure this out, and go from there. But it's interesting, the transition from being this rookie who's, you know, thinks he's tough, but really you get him on a call, he's scared of the world. And then years later, I'm at this point where, you know, I'm just going to calls like it's a normal thing that people do. And it's fun, but it's changed me a lot.
Of course. But always remember, there's no routine call. Remember that.
Nothing like it. No.
So why the transition, and what made the transition into the technology portion? than what you're trying to do now?
Yeah.
When did that come in, when did that come into play for you?
I've always had interest in tech, but I never really put the effort into kind of learning more about it. And just, I spent a lot of time focusing on work. And once 2020 came around, obviously that was a huge change in the world of policing. And so, in Madison, I was there for, the protests, and sometimes they would end up turning into riots. COVID was going on at the exact same time. And I think something that a lot of people overlook about that time is calls were still coming in. People were still having issues. So even on top of everything that was going on, people were still calling 911. We still had officers who had to respond to these calls, even while the rest of the city's kind of burning down. And the whole department, the whole profession, I mean, I think it turned into just a big burnout where, we can't keep doing it like this anymore. And I think it's obvious that the profession itself has kind of become just this catch-all for everyone's problems. And, if something's going on that they don't know how to deal with, they're going to call the police for some advice. And that means that instead of, getting ready for the big calls, getting ready for things that require a police officer to show up, now we're jumping from call to call to call to call without having a break in between, without being able to sit down and grab lunch with our coworkers. And I think that's leading to a lot of burnout. And so when the technology came into play, it was me kind of sitting around thinking, this isn't sustainable. And there's so many things, technology wise, that help police departments now that I think a lot of departments haven't really looked into yet. And I started to think about how can I take a lot of these little non-emergency calls and try to redirect them away from patrol so that I can free up the CAD and give them a little bit of a breather to do some extra, proactive patrol, some traffic, or just sit down and take lunch with your coworkers who have been humping calls with you all day.
And what is it? What is this technology? What does it do?
So what we created, we call iReport. It is a self-reporting platform for citizen users to have a direct line of communication to their local police department. What it does is essentially makes it so that if you have a non-emergency police report that you want to fill out, say you want just a case number for insurance purposes, or, you got your bike stolen or something like that. And, typically people don't contact police regularly, so they don't really know exactly what the process is. What iReport does is you download the app on either on our Google Play Store or the Apple Store, or you can use our web app. And you can fill out a self-report online. I base the self-reports off of the mobile field reports that we fill out in our squad cars. So we're not getting reports that are made, just narratives that are sent in for, John stole my bike next door and I want him arrested. And it's like, okay, well, I still have so much follow-up to do with that. So the point of it is to try to get as much information into that self-report as possible and forward it to the police department with basically a full police report. And all the officer has to do is read it quick, see if there's any follow-up that needs to be done, and then send it along.
Wow. How long you been doing this for?
We've been working on it for a little over 2 years now. We've built this platform from the ground up. In the last couple of years, we've been adding features, kind of workshopping with other cops. What do you want to see happen? What are some of the issues that you see in your day-to-day life at work? And how can we try to fix that so that we can clear up the CAD and give you guys some more time for things that you enjoy doing the job for?
Where is it available?
So available Google Play Store, the Apple App Store, and we have a web version that you can just create an account online.
Well, I'm sorry, I should ask, Is so if I'm in Baltimore, I can jump on the app and the report will be sent to the Baltimore Police Department?
So what we're doing right now, we're working on trying to get as many police departments, especially larger ones, as possible to either start with the program or try to implement it in some way so that they can see, hey, this works. It's starting to relieve some of the pressure on the patrol. And so that people in that area, when they do log on, their department's already registered. So you said Baltimore?
Right.
Right. So if Baltimore PD were to have a iReport account, they'd have a verified page. They'd have an inbox where all the self-reports can be sent. And on their end, they can make announcements. They can shoot out notifications to nearby users saying, hey, there's an incident happening at this location. Please be aware. If you have any, photos or videos of what occurred, you can upload it to our Dropbox. Otherwise, you can start a self-report.
That's groundbreaking, bro. Phenomenal.
Yeah, it is.
It really is.
Which departments are using it now?
So we're just starting our rollout. This is kind of the main press release of, hey, this is what's happening.
Wow.
But we've been reaching out to departments across the country and speaking with command staff and patrol alike just to see, hey, will this work for you? Is this something that we can get implemented in your department? And is there something you'd like to see change that we can maybe customize something for you? We're a small team, but we've been working on this for a couple of years, and we're willing to work with departments to make sure that what they're getting is a quality product on our end. And my main focus is making sure that cops have some time to take a breather and so that they can be ready and safe at the next call they go to.
That's awesome,
Absolutely.
brother. That is super awesome. Kudos to you, man. That is amazing.
It's been a long road.
That even helps with like the mental state of the officer. It's like, oh, I don't have to rush, through this call because I'm 3 calls in the 3 reports in the hole that I have to write.
Yeah. Yeah. The main appeal, I think, of this is if you're a patrol officer sitting in a squad car, if you end up getting assigned one of these self-reports, you're basically getting the full, complete police report, which is cutting off the dispatch time, the driving time to the call, the interview, the follow-up that you're doing, anything, making sure that these people are giving you the correct information, watching them, walk around, look for the VIN on something that they had 3 years ago. So they're able to compile all that information and send it directly in before it even touches an officer's desk.
Nice.
Wow.
Well, it sounds like you won't be doing policing too much longer, big guy.
We'll see. I keep saying it's just like if I make it big, I'm gone. I'm going to the mountains. I'm living in a cabin in the woods. No one will ever see me again. The typical cop dream life, right?
Rightfully so. Well deserved.
Yeah, but even when it comes to moving positions at my current job, it's funny because I still get sad being like, well, then I have to leave patrol. Do I want to leave patrol?
Right.
I'm sure my family would be like, leave. But
it's just that patrol's so much fun.
Yeah, it is.
You don't get it anywhere else. And
if you know how to work it, it's so much fun.
And it's the greatest show on earth, man.
Yeah, and we got front row seats.
Front row seats to it.
It truly is.
Nice. So what's the future plans, man? Just getting this thing implemented in every department moving forward?
Yeah, get it implemented as much as we can, and hopefully we can start to prove to other departments across the country that what we have is something special, and that they should use it too.
No, that's awesome. So how can people reach out to you if they want to speak to you individually in reference to that?
Yeah, so our website's up and running, iReport.us. If you go on there, there's a contact us button. Just fill it out, and that'll get sent to us. Like I said, our team is small, so you're either going to be talking to me or my other co-founder, Nick Youthy, who, shout out to him, he's been an absolute beast when it comes to building this thing out. He's we were friends in high school, and he's the one who's got kind of the entrepreneurial mindset. So he's been an absolute help in this. So he's just as motivated as I am. So you're going to reach more of us.
That's awesome. It takes a team, bro, you know, with the same mindset moving forward of being hungry. And, you know, once you put the game plan in action, bro, sky's the limit. So there is a dying void in the market for that. And law enforcement really can appreciate that. And, you know, mental health is everything. So officers will benefit from that drastically. Instead of going from call to call, you can take your time. Like you said, enjoy time with your squad. You know, you can actually get out in the community and build those relationships, you know, so they can understand who you are as a man or female, you know, right before the badge, you know, and that makes the job easier because they know you on a personal level instead of the badge. When they always look at the badge and, you know, they critique of, you know, some officers are bad as opposed to all, you know, everybody's here for your own individual reasons. But, you know, you take more time doing that and the job, will benefit so much from that. And I appreciate you guys putting that together because that's paramount, bro. That's groundbreaking.
And that's what we all do the job for to begin with, you know, like we don't want to be hopping from little thing to little thing to little thing. Like we want to be out there in the community. We want to be shaking people's hands, kiss babies, all that fun stuff, right?
Absolutely.
And we just get bogged down, I think, after years and years of handling call to call to call. A lot of us start to lose that fire a little bit, and I think it's about time that that policing makes a little bit of a change so we can get back to our roots of doing what we want.
I agree 1,000%.
I also think that the flip side to that, it'll help the other side of the community that needs a report, but they get a little bit of anxiety when they see the uniform. So this is a way of them getting police service without actually, you know, interacting with the uniform. Or also, like, you know, sometimes, you know, the neighbor might see the patrol car on the block and people automatically get nervous and they think something happened. So that's another way of, you know, looking at it, that it could just ease.
I call it non-punitive police reform.
Non-punitive.
Well said.
Look at you with the big words.
With all the last, you know, the big police reform push over the last couple of years, you notice that, you know, a lot of it just seemed like it was kind of out to punish the police department. And, you know, the defunding and stuff like that, if you look, most of those departments have quietly rolled back their funding. And, you know, things really haven't gotten much better in terms of, you know, they lose the money, things get worse, they get the money back. We're kind of still at the same operating level. But now we've got an entire police department that's been completely demoralized. I think this is a way to reach across both sides of the aisle to say, you know, people who haven't been historically comfortable contacting their police departments, they have a way to do that without retribution or fear from their neighbors or anything like that. They can send in their photos and videos and have their voice heard, and police get just a little bit of a break and some time to do what they're passionate about.
Wow, that's awesome, brother. Thank you for what you do and continue to do. That's amazing. Wow.
And another beautiful thing, my brain is just, another beautiful thing is that, like, someone that might be vindictive can't say you falsified this report because you wrote the report.
Yeah, you filled it
so
out.
So it works out in court. Yeah, you filled it out.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And that's the best part of it is, you know, when we're taking reports, we're kind of doing it as the third party info filling out this report, where, you know, if someone wants to go all in on details as to what happened with this situation, no matter how small, they got all the time in the world to make it exactly what they want it to be.
Yep.
And that's accountability on them.
Yep. And when it goes to court, you know, they have to answer up for it. That's perfect. Yeah. I like it.
Wow. Well said, brother. I appreciate you, Wesley. So listen, for everybody out there, man, are you on social media? Are you on IG?
Right now, we're on Instagram for sure. Just iReport. iReport.us is going to be the main web page that you can reach us at. We got a few good articles up that I've written, and so we've got some more info as to features that we have, how to contact us. If you think you want a demo for your police department, you can set one up there.
No, that's perfect.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And I'd like to also say that, you know, from patrol level to command, it doesn't matter if you're interested in it and you want to play a part in your department getting this thing up and running. I'm happy to talk to all levels of the department just to pass along the info that we have.
Awesome. Awesome. Dre.
That's beautiful. Yeah, peace and love, man. We wish you the best. Thank you for coming on and just, you know, giving us this piece of technology that's the future. It's the way of the future.
Hoping so.
Nah, definitely will, Wesley. Listen, you got any shout outs you want to give out, brother, before we wrap this up?
Hey, shout out to my team, Adrian and Nick. They've been absolute monsters when it comes to building this and starting to get this media tour online. Obviously, as a beat cop, I got my set of skills, and it doesn't usually translate to a lot of the tech stuff. But they've
you said that we were the
way.
first ones, right? You said we were the first ones?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's awesome, man. Thank you.
That's awesome. Hey, Wesley, thank you for your time, brother. It means everything. The world needs to know this, man. You know, the transparency and everything we're trying to do, just so, you know, people can see that we're here for the right reasons. And just you bringing this to the table, I told you, it's groundbreaking, man. The officers are going to love this new model that you're bringing to the platform.
Yeah, man, just making it so that we can go back to our families at the end of the day a little less stressed.
Outstanding. Triple C, what you got? I guess he good.
Yeah, he's good.
But everybody, my peoples, we love you. We appreciate you. I want to take this time to thank our brother Wesley for coming on. And listen, what he's bringing to the table for law enforcement is groundbreaking. Is great for officers. It's great for everybody to go home to their families, less stress on the job, on top of the drama that we deal with. And it's perfect. I love it. And I want Wesley to take it to the top, man, and just keep doing what you're doing, brother. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
you're a trailblazer. What happened, Dre?
I was saying, don't forget about us.
Yeah, don't forget about us at all, bro, because we can implement that. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you need, we here to help.
Hey, man, send me down to Baltimore. I'll shoot you guys a demo for your department.
Outstanding.
Okay.
All right, my peoples, we love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Another one, phenomenal episode. Don't forget, tell a friend to tell a friend. Thank you, Wesley. Be safe, brother. Nothing but love for you and everybody there in Wisconsin. Peace and love, everybody. Be safe.
Take care, guys.
Take care, Wesley.